Hello everyone, welcome back to Python's Masterclass. Now we will be moving forward with the lesson 4, and in today's lesson you will be learning about the important Python operators. Whether we talk about the arithmetic operator or we talk about the conditional operators, we will be also learning about few more important types of operators. Now it is a very important class because operators are one of the very key essential parts which you will be using in your codes. Whether we talk about conditional operators, which will be used in our later stages when we will be learning about conditional statements. Arithmetic operator, it's the basic thing, right? Whether we want to do any mathematical calculations, we will be needing them. And then there are logical operators as well, which will be needed further on if you want to merge multiple conditions together, right? So let's move forward. What we will be doing, very first, we have to create a new folder for the day 4. I will first close this day 3 file. Okay, now click on this folder icon to create a new folder. Let's name it as day 4. Okay, now inside this day 4, so we have to expand it and let's create a new code up here. Name it as main.py. Okay, there you go. So we are ready, right? Now to understand about operators, let's start with the mathematical operators, or we call them as arithmetic operators, right? Now for that, we will be needing two numbers, okay? Two variables. So let's suppose I say number 1 is equals to 2 and number 2 is equals to 3, okay? Now, how do we do this simple operators? Very simple. To basically do arithmetic operators, we have few operators in our hand. Which are those? So we have plus, we have minus, we have multiplication, we have division, we have floor division, we have modulus, and then we also have the exponent or the power operator. Okay, done. Now how we will be doing it? Simple. So this addition operator basically adds two numbers like normal in mathematics, which we do, right? Similarly, number 1 minus number 2 will basically do subtraction between both of this number. If I have to do multiplication, I have to use the asterisk symbol. Okay, so in coding we generally use the asterisk symbol and not the x, because x is alphabet and it has already a meaning for it, right? Similarly, if you want to divide, you can use normal division. Then we also have floor division. Okay, there you go. Then we also have modulus. And then finally, we also have power. Okay. Now you will be like, Mimo, great, awesome. There are a lot of operators. Few of them we already know, few of them we doesn't know, right? So what will this operator is going to do? Okay, very simple. So addition is going to add both the numbers. What is number 1? It is 2. What is number 2? It is 3. So what will be the value? 5, right? Similarly, subtraction will basically subtract between value 1 and 2. So 1 was 2 and the second one is basically 3. Definitely it'll be negative 1. What will this do? It will be definitely 6 because it's a multiplication. Division, so 2 by 3, it will be around 0.66666. Okay, hey, you told me that this is also a kind of division. What type of division, right? So this is a kind of division which will ensure that I'm not getting the floating point value, okay? So whenever you get a number like 2.23, let's suppose when you're dividing and you're getting your answer as 2.23 or maybe 5.63 or maybe 10.23, that 0.23, that 0.26, right? Whatever value we are getting after that decimal point, we will ignore it. So whenever we basically do floor division, we ignore that value. So in case of this, if it was 0.6s, what will happen? Whatever is after this decimal, it will be ignored. So it will be simply 0. Okay, great. Now what is this? This is modulus. It always gives you remainder. Okay, so if you divide 2 by 3, what will be the remainder? 2 itself, right? Similarly, it is basically 2 to the power 3 because number 1 is 2 and 2 to the power 3 will be 8. Okay, so always remember this. This is for addition, so we call it as addition. This is for subtraction, so we call it as subtraction. This is for multiplication, so we call it as multiplication symbol. This is basically for division, so we call it as division symbol. This is basically floor division because it basically provides us the floor value, that is nothing but a number value without the decimal point. This will be modulus, so modulus. Okay, and this is the final one, that is nothing but the exponent. Okay, now these are all about the mathematical operators or the arithmetic operators, right? Now the next type of operators which we have to follow on is going to be the conditional operators. Okay, conditional operators. Okay. Now, what are conditional operators? Greater than, okay, less than, equal to, not equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to. For this also, I will consider two numbers. Let's suppose I take the number 1 to be 10 and the number 2 to be 20. Okay. So if I say that is number 1 equals to number 2, now double equals means I'm checking whether left hand side and the right hand side are equal. Not like normal mathematics, we won't be using a single equal symbol up here. So if you want to do equal symbol, basically you want to compare left hand side and right hand side, and whether you want to check whether it is equal or not, you have to use two equals, right? So is number 1 equals to number 2? No, it'll basically give us false, right? Similarly, if I have to check whether both the numbers are not equal, it will give me true, because definitely one of the number is 10 and the other one is 20, so it will be true, right? Is number 2 greater than number 1? Tell me. True, it is, right? Is number 2 less than number 1? False, because number 2 is 20 and number 1 is 10. Number 2 is definitely not smaller, right? Now there is one more thing. So this is something where you pair number, you basically pair equality and greater than both. Okay, so if the number is equal or greater than number 2, so in any of these cases, if the number 1 is equal to number 2 or it is greater than number 2, in any of these cases this entire condition becomes true. Now up here number 1 is what? 10. Number 2 is what? 20. Is it greater than 20? No. Is it equals to 20? No. So ultimately it will be false. Similarly, we basically have less than. Now in this case, it will be true because definitely number 1 is less than number 2, while it is not equal, but still one of the conditions satisfied. So the overall condition will satisfy. Okay. Now we have few more, that is going to be the logical operators. Okay. Now up here you will be learning about and all of this. So let's suppose I say that is number 1 equals to 10 and number 2 equals to 20. So it is a very simple thing. Think about, you are basically going to the supermarket and your mom has instructed you to bring bread and butter, right? Now, bread and butter, right? Simple English terminology. If it is and, that means we need both of them. We are not up here to just get bread or just butter, right? We want both of them. So similarly, up here in coding as well, it's the same thing. If number 1 is equals to 10 and at the same time number 2 has to be equals to 20, if both the conditions satisfy, then only the overall condition will satisfy. So up here, yeah, it is true, so it will be true. Okay, simple. Similarly, there is one more that is known as OR. Now, OR basically says even if one of the conditions satisfy, it will satisfy. It's like I want either ice cream or maybe some soft drink, right? Or any soda drink, whatever you want to say. But in this case, basically, even if I get one of them, I'm happy with that, right? So ultimately, number 1 is equals to 10. So this is satisfying, right? But number 2 is definitely not equals to 30. But one of them satisfied. So ultimately, the result will be true because one of them did satisfy. Now there is one more that is known as basically not. Not does a very simple thing. So if you will provide true, it will basically make it false, and if it is false, it will make it true. So up here, number 1 is equals to 10. Is it true? Yes, it is true. But because we have a not, it will be inverted, and that true will turn to a false. Okay. But if it will be false, it will turn into a true. Okay. So let's do that. It will be false. There you go. That's your basically important operators. Now there are some assignment operators as well, which we will be covering about. Now, see, I'm not showing you every single operators. I'm showing you the operators which you will be generally using, right? Though there are more conditional things and everything up. There are like bitwise operator and everything. We are not going into that. Later in the stages, we will be definitely covering that as well. But right now, I don't want you to be overpopulated with a lot of things, right? In the initial phases, it's very important that we only focus on the things which are right now needed, and we can discuss about the others on the later stages, which we will be definitely doing. Okay. So assignment operator, it helps us to assign a value to any number. So let's suppose I'm basically making this number 1 to be 20, right? So this is a kind of assignment. Though there are a few more ways to basically use assignment. You can also say add 10 to number 1. Now what will happen? So up here, number 1 was 20, right? Number 1 was 20. But when you did this, what we are doing? We are assigning 10 to the number 1. We are adding 10 to the number 1. Okay. So number 1 was already 20. It will become 30. Okay. Remember this. Now, all of this operation, you can also do it on the other mathematical operations, like whether you want to subtract 5 from the number 1, right? Or whether you want to multiply number 1 with maybe 2. So all the mathematical operators which you have seen, or the arithmetic operators you have seen, all of them can be assigned in the assignment operators. Okay, done. Now it is time to basically create the very simple mini project. So the mini project is check if a person can vote or not. Okay, now how we will do that? First of all, we need the age. Now you tell me, do we have to do the typecasting up here? What do you think so? Yes, we have to. Why? Because by default it will be a string, but we need a number, so we have to basically do it int, right? What will be the condition? What do you think so? Very simple. So if we can say you can vote, right? You can vote, or we can do like this. Can you vote? And we can just give a comma, and we can just say if age is greater than equals to 18, you can, right? But if it is not, he will not be able to vote, right? Let's see. There you go. So it's asking me for the age. I can just say 18, and it is saying, can you vote? True. That means yes, I can vote. Okay. So these are the basic operators which we generally use in Python. There are more types of operator. We will be covering them when we will be basically understanding about the binary bits and everything up. That will be in the later stages when we will be doing a little bit on the data structure. Right now, we are not going with that because then I have to explain you the entire binary thing as well. That I don't want you to be learning right now, because I want you to focus on the codes moreover, and when it will be needed we will also go through that. And yeah, that's it. So these are basically the important operators which we use in Python. These are the mathematical operators I have already explained you. These are the conditional operators which I have already explained you. These are the logical operators which I have already explained you. And these are few of the assignment operators. So you can do more assignment operators by using all the formulas which you have just seen, like division, floor division, modulus, or exponent. Now always remember that you have to remember this thing, right? This is known as an addition, this is known as a subtraction, it's called as multiplication, division, floor division, modulus, right? Exponent. This is known as equals, not equals, greater than, less than, greater than equals, less than equals, and condition, or condition, right? And this is basically not operator. Now up here we also did assignment operators. These are very important that you also remember this terminologies, because yeah, whenever you will be going for an interview or anywhere, they will be not talking to you in a normal like mathematical way, but majorly they will be telling you, okay, use floor division to do this, or maybe use modulus, and you should not be confused about this operators. Okay, so that's it. Just ensure that you're practicing regularly, and bye bye. I will be seeing you again on your next session. That will be the session number 5, where we will be covering a little bit more around conditionals, right? We'll be learning about the conditional statements. We have already learned about all the conditions, operators, and everything up. And you are ready to create next level of Python codes now. Okay, so bye-bye. The next day is going to be really interesting. Ensure that you are being up there. Okay, bye. See you.